Friends, I never thought I would be here recording this episode because I've been holding a lot of this inside. I think it's time, though, to let it out. I'm like, where do I even start? This time of year always brings up a lot of pain because when we think about it, we're coming into the holidays. It's a family time. It's kind of time to be together with the ones we love, right? And for me, right now, currently in my life, it's becoming a time of family distancing. My idea, what do I want to say? Like, I'm the one initiating it. Even with friends, I've been really distancing. And I was literally just having shower thoughts, kind of thinking about this and wanting to really unpack it. And I think honestly that a lot of us are in this same boat right now, especially being that we're in this 9 year. 9 energy, it's completion, it's completing cycles, it's finishing things, closing chapters in our life. And not that we want to close a chapter with, like a parent or something like that, if we can help it. But I think it's time to really close some old loops and some old patterns, old beliefs in our lives. So if you are on the same kind of boat as me where maybe you're going through a lot right now, I'm just here to unpack it and to dive in. Hey friend, welcome to the Ready to Rise podcast. This is the podcast for ambitious, successful women who've checked off all the boxes. The career, the routines, the self-help books, and therapy, we've done it all. But if you're still feeling numb, stuck, or like you're just going through the motions, you're in the right place. Because I've totally been there. And I've healed myself using the tools that I now teach. I got certified in them so that I could help other women do the same. I'm your host, Audrey Rose, a registered nurse and somatic life coach. And I'm here to help you stop just coping, stop just going through the motions, and actually start feeling good again in your life, feeling happy again. Each week, we explore nervous system regulation, emotional wellness, and rituals that are rooted in ancient wisdom, ancient practices, so you can stop just going through the motions and stop just getting by and start really feeling lit up and alive and fully plugged in again. This is about real happiness. The kind that fills your body, lights you up, and helps you create a life that you are obsessed to wake up for. So are you ready? Because I'm excited to help you feel like you again. So the reason that I'm coming out with this episode right now, it's been a lot. It's been an entire year of just pain and struggle, really. There's been so much going on behind the scenes that I've spoken about, on here on the podcast, little things happening to myself and to my husband, like our car, that whole scenario, just everything. And I don't know if I've talked a whole lot about my dog on here, but my dog's been going through some stuff. We just did surgery. Like, it's been a lot. But I haven't spoken that openly about a lot of family situations because it's not my place to come in and, to make accusations, even if I think that they're true, right? That's not the vibe here. That's not what we do on this podcast. This podcast is very much like uplifting and helping us to live our best lives, and getting into that negative energy and that really like low vibration isn't the vibe. But yesterday I found out that if you guys know, my grandma passed away almost a year ago. She passed away in December of last year. And, I've spoken about it just a little bit, not too much because there were some legal issues surrounding it, no foul play or anything like that. I learned, or at least from my perspective, what I've noticed is that before her passing, her will was changed to give some family members everything. And to be honest with you, I I don't know if I saw it coming, and I don't know how I feel, and this isn't the place to unpack my feelings around that. But I have my own, career and my own business and my own stuff going. So I'm not like upset that I didn't receive like a house or something, because whatever. But the belongings, family memories, heirlooms, like that kind of thing. And they didn't have like a ton of these crazy fancy heirlooms or anything like that. But The family did have some things, that were passed down that, like, I remember my grandma or my grandpa telling me, this will be yours one day, and this has this kind of significance to the family, and, my grandfather used to use this, and whatever, just little things, right? And it really was meaningful to me, and I never would look forward to the day that they would pass to receive any of these things. But truthfully, I knew once she passed that she had left me things to remember her by, to connect with her, through, like, to stay connected with her. And it was just the weirdest thing. You know how family gets when somebody passes away, and it's so unfortunate. There was just, too much to unpack here, but just a lot of fallout and a lot of family drama, just like everybody experiences. And I haven't been able to get any closure, which is so hard. No closure from being able to go back to the house, see the house one last time, or have, like, kind of that family Hallmark moment, which honestly, maybe a lot of people don't have. Maybe that's not kind of the way that most families operate anymore. But having kind of that moment where everybody gathers at grandma's house and goes through things and kind of divvies things up and just shares memories and experiences. And it wasn't like that. And that has really taken a toll on me this last year emotionally. And I think I've just continued shoving it down. I think so many of us do that with our emotions or with really strong feelings. We just shove it down. We compartmentalize it. We move on to the next thing, especially for my nurses listening or anybody who works in healthcare. We're basically trained to do that. We see something very significant, see something very critical, very, hard things. There's a lot of hard things I obviously won't get into that we see, right? And then it's like you have to shove it back down because you have 4 other patients waiting for you, or more patients, right? Waiting for you, needing things from you, and you've got to move on to the next room and go help them too. You can't just sit in one room, crying about something very unfortunate that you've witnessed. So I think we kind of learn to do that. And as women too, it's like we multitask and we do all the things and we kind of compartmentalize, we shove it down. So I haven't dealt with these issues. And I've just been kind of allowing myself to sit in anger so that I didn't have to face them. I didn't have to think about them. That it was pretty unfortunate the way that things unfolded, and that nobody from my side of the family, she only had 2, what do I want to say, offspring. I don't want to give genders or anything like that today. I don't need to make this about other people. It's just kind of my feelings. But Um, yeah, so it's really unfortunate that just between 2 people, that were raised by one woman, this much drama has unfolded, and no one from my side of the family has been able to go over and get any closure until yesterday. And I learned that 2 members of my family were able to go over, look through old memories, look through old photo books, look through all kinds of things. And they did get, a couple of little trinkets, you could say, to give to me, that were given to me, and that I can remember her by. But I really wanted that experience, you guys. I wanted that experience so badly, of being able to go back into the house, go through photo albums together as a family, remember things, look at things together, open a drawer and get so excited that, like, that's the way she folded her socks, right? Just like whatever. And I knew that this day would be coming. I knew that there were talks about having kind of a day where some members of the family could get together and do this. And I begged, y'all. I, like, let go of my pride and I literally begged to be included. And I wasn't included. I wasn't even given a heads up that this was going to be happening. Hey, I know that you really wanted to be here. This, you cannot come for XYZ reason. You're not allowed to come, whatever. Um, but, just a heads up so that you can kind of process your emotions around that, rather than be blindsided by a phone call from somebody who says, hey, I went there today and this is how it went, and we grabbed XYZ for you. It's really unfortunate, and it's really shitty, because it's like, now, without being able to go and have that, my heart was just set on having that type of closure experience, right? And now that that's already happened, and without me, it just feels over. Like, there's no reason for me to go back to the house that's getting emptied out, basically, being sold at some point. I've heard, I don't know if that's true or not, who knows. But anyways, um, it's just unfortunate. And I feel almost just really hurt by the members of my own family who weren't able to make that work. And so it's a it's a moment of me really sitting and having to take time to process these emotions. And I don't know if you've been here recently, but I feel like in this year of this being a 9 year and us going through all of these things and us having just so much going on, I know pretty much everybody I talked to recently has said this has been one of the hardest years of their life. And it's this energy. It is hard because it's like we hold on to our idea of how something should go, and we hold on to the closure that we want from something, or just our old patterns and our old cycles and our old belief systems, because it's what we know, it's what we've been connected to, it's the way we've operated for so long, that it's really hard to let go when the universe is literally throwing it in our faces, telling us that we have to let go. It's so hard to do that sometimes. And I truly think that that's why. I mean, we get so kind of set on something, and it does make us a little bit closed-minded. Like for me in this situation, I think I felt almost like I hadn't opened myself up at all over the past year into any other possibilities for how to process the grief. I had a call with my therapist. I see my therapist here and there, just kind of lately. I see her when things are just kind of, when I really am at my breaking point, right? I should be doing it a lot more frequently. But I saw my therapist and she did give me some ideas, right? She was like, well, what about, if you read this book, I think that would bring you some closure. Or let's do a meditation where you walk through the house and you can see all of these things and you can kind of, picture your grandma still there giving you that last hug goodbye. And we can do a whole visualization. And I was so stubborn to not be able to allow myself to think of that as a way of gaining closure. I was so just, steadfast on this idea that I had to have closure of us coming together as a family, whether it was pleasant or awkward or who knows, and go through the belongings and have that last moment in her house. And now that that's been robbed from me, it's really weird to have to feel like, oh my God, well, then what do you do? Right. And I don't know the answer to that. And I'm just sitting here, reminding you that even when life gets really crazy and it can get like into these kinds of very personal situations that can be really hard to go through and to even think about or deal with, it's very important for us to take that step back and to pause, kind of regulate our nervous systems. I was going to say that, right? And then go from there. Like for me, I've had this idea of what that closure needed to look like. I've had this idea of exactly what I needed to do or wanted to do, right? And yeah, it was dependent on external circumstances. It wasn't something that I 100% had control over. So when it didn't go my way, I was pissed. Let's be honest. When I got that phone call last night, I was freaking livid. I still am. This is the next morning. So this is a pretty raw episode here. But we have to take a pause. And I'm here in this moment right now telling you, as I'm going through it in real time, how important it is. I could easily fire off a mean text or drive over to that other family member's house. I could drive over to my family member's house or send them mean text or call them or something. And you know what? That's not going to do anything. It's just going to make it worse. They're grieving too. They're going through their own situations, right? They have their own reasons for things working out the way that they did. And I can't control any of that. And being, upset and lashing out isn't going to change anything. That's just my body feeling like it's able to protect itself. That's my nervous system being like, yeah, we're going to protect you. We're in that stress response, that fight or flight response. We're going to fight back. Yeah, we're going to let them know. And you know what, though? We've got to take ourselves out of that stress response. Like I always say, right? We're in the gas right now. We're in the sympathetic response. Got to take ourselves out of that and we got to chill out. Okay, friend, I know those days where my mind just won't stop. I can't fall asleep, and then I'm just exhausted, anxious, grumpy, all of it, right? This is usually when I know I need to reset my nervous system. For me in the past, I used to try the affirmations and all the personal development books and talk therapy and all of the things, but it never worked. So finally learning the somatic healing tools that actually regulate my nervous system has seriously changed things. So I put together a happiness bundle for you. It's literally 3 guided practices in under 30 minutes each. I walk you through each one, and these are literally nervous system regulation practices that are proven to help you reduce cortisol levels, reduce your stress, so you can finally get better sleep, think more clearly, and just feel more calm overall. I walk you through each one exactly so that you'll know like step by step what to do. It's an on-demand video. And again, it's 3 of them: EFT tapping, sound bath, and breath work, all in under 30 minutes each. So if you are ready for that feeling where you just finally feel like yourself again, you feel like you can access the happiness that's all around you because your nervous system is more regulated, go and grab the happiness bundle now. I want to give it to you for $11. It's in my show notes below, or if you go to my Instagram bio at Hello Audrey Rose, it's right there in the link in bio. And just get it for $11 with code happiness at checkout. And I cannot wait to hear how good this makes you feel. But I feel like this episode was really relevant because obviously I'm going through this in real time. So I wanted to share like my thought process and what's happening and how I'm trying to deal with it and how I'm trying to work through it in real time. But also with the holidays coming up, so many of us, we get faced with these decisions like, do I go and see all these family members who maybe haven't been that close with me over the years, who maybe have kind of been one side, type relationships towards me? Do I go and spend time with them and get, maybe leave feeling grumpy or maybe leave upset? Or do I, suck it up and just kind of have a holiday by myself or whatever? And I don't know the answer. And I'm so willing to like explore this. I think that it's just such a personal and individualized thing when we go through all these things. And I'm stuck with that decision for myself this year where I feel really, really hurt by a lot of the things that have happened this year. This situation of the belongings and like, this whole kind of family moment that I wasn't part of was really the last straw for me, to be honest, but I don't know if that's the right decision. And so that's back to the point of not making a rash decision, not making a huge, leap, right? We got to pause. We got to regulate the nervous system. We have to interrupt this cycle of the fighting back, right? We have to sit, we have to think about it. And it doesn't mean shove it down and ignore it until it's Thanksgiving morning and then, you're just lay in bed all day grumpy because you like haven't dealt with these thoughts, right? So it's time to really, sit down, process things for yourself, think about what's coming up for you, how you're feeling, what's going on, and go from there. But I know for me, there's a lot of processing to do. It's so hard. And I'm at this moment where I'm like, okay, I think it's time. And I think everybody starts to face this as they kind of get further into adulthood, where you start to learn your own boundaries and your own, ability, like your own, I guess, boundaries for yourself of how much you can connect with others and how much effort you can put into other relationships, right? And I know this whole year has just shown me so much. I feel like I've really noticed how much I put into things and how I'm always the one that people call, right? When they need a ride somewhere, like for a procedure and they can't drive themselves, or, they need something, they need to talk things out. They want to, get advice, or they need someone to watch their dog or whatever. And I'm noticing how I don't receive the same thing in return. And that's part of being a giver. That's part of being the helper in the world, right? Is you kind of get yourself into those situations and maybe you don't ask for help as often, or maybe you're less willing to receive. And so over time that just creates the relationship dynamics. But it's really something to start thinking about. And I don't want this episode to be, as I wrap it up. I don't want it to be a downer, and I don't want you to feel upset or anything if you are going through any of these things, but it's just a moment for me to remind you to reflect. We have to reflect on our own lives. We have to reflect on ourselves, on our energy levels, on our bodies, on all of that, right? As a whole. And we have to think about how much we're giving, how much we're receiving back, if we are receiving enough back. How do we feel energetically when we're around people? Are there boundaries that are not being honored? Are there boundaries that we need to set? Like, what's going on, right? We just have to stop and think about all of these different things and make sure that we're honoring ourselves in this life. You're born with yourself, you die with yourself, right? You are the only person that you are going to spend the longest amount of time with in this whole world. And so it's so important to honor yourself, honor your boundaries, your health, your energy. It's the most important thing. When we're constantly bending over backwards for everybody else, we can lose parts of ourselves, and I don't want that for you. And our nervous system cannot handle that, right? When we're constantly putting ourselves in a stress response mode or overdoing it on our nervous system over and over and over again for other people, or even just them, kind of their energy, their presence in our lives, right? Causing that response, it's time to take a look at that. And so that's what I'm doing right now. And I don't know the answer, and I don't know what the future holds, but I know that for right now, it's kind of like this reflection period, and the universe is very clearly showing me that your desires are not super important to certain people in your life, and you have to kind of look at that. And the universe is very clearly trying to point some things out to me, and that might be the case for you too. In this 9 year with this 9 energy, as we're wrapping up and as we're heading into the next portal, which is 1111, we are, we're being called for these fresh chapters, for this new beginnings, for all of this kind of energy. And we really are being called by the universe to kind of give that final close off and that final completion of loops and chapters and stuff. And so the universe might be going a little bit harder on you too right now, not necessarily making your life harder, but just kind of going hard on pointing things out to you, making things a little bit more obvious to you so that you are paying attention to what's going on. And if that's the case for you, I feel for you, and I'm so here for you. And again, I don't have the answers, but I do know how to help you regulate your nervous system clearly during this time, so you can come in and you can hear yourself speak. If we have this place of chaos, if our nervous system is stuck in that fight or flight mode, if it doesn't, it can't slow down and calm down and just think straight, right? Like, how people say that, right? Like, I can't even hear myself think. I need to slow down. We need to do that. You might be getting all these signals from the universe trying to tell you that, hey, we're ending this 9 year, we're coming into this 1111 portal energy. Like, it's time for you to sit down, clear your mind, and think about things. And hey, that's fine. That just means it's time to do that. Thank you for listening to this really vulnerable episode. Sorry if it was a little bit more awkward than some of my other episodes, but I really just wanted to get this out there and just be honest, about some of the things I'm going through and how it feels. And while I can't splurge every single little detail because that would be rude, and also it's not processed yet. So I don't want to come and just do like a trauma dump on you guys. But again, it still is pretty raw to share those things. And thank you so much for listening. And I love you guys so much. This community that we're building, the Rise community, is just freaking epic. And I love y'all so much. So I'll see you back here next week. Love you. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of the Ready to Rise podcast. It means so much to me to have you here and to get to share all of this with you. If this one resonated, literally just send this to a friend, share it with her right now, because there's so many women out there who really need this information. And I would also love it if you could take a quick screenshot, throw it up on Instagram, tag me at Hello Audrey Rose so that I can connect with you and get to know you. But thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. Have a blessed and beautiful day, and I will see you next time.